You probably clicked on this show because you're fed up with working hard but not seeing the results that you're expecting. You feel like your shape is not where you want it to be. Around 12 years ago, I was not where I wanted to be, but I did have a set of bad habits that were holding me back. When I look back, the bad habits that I had were holding me back from getting to the shape and the physique that I so expected from the hard work I was putting in. Within this show, I will be explaining my top 10 bad habits that were holding me back, and most likely you're making the same mistakes I was making back then. Since then, I've changed a lot. I've got the physique and shape that I worked towards for many years, and I've maintained that for the past 12 years. But I want to offer you my honest opinion on bad habits that I feel could be holding you back. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe so I can continue providing you guys with great content. So the first bad habit that was holding me back was I was going out way too much. Whether that was on holiday to Ibiza, weekends away, whether that was drinking with friends on a Friday night, I was just drinking way too much and partying till the early hours. But it was holding me back. There's no doubt when I look back at it now, I was going out partying way too much. And as I've got further into my fitness journey over the past 10 years, and I've slowly gone out, partied less, I've realised that that was a bad habit that was crushing my goals back then. Bad habit number 2, I wasn't taking my diet too seriously. I would often feel like I was eating healthily enough, but looking back at it now, I was missing a lot of key pieces of the puzzle. I just wasn't taking my diet seriously enough. Until I got coached on nutrition, I started to realize that I had a lot of holes that I needed to fill in. So I just started to, and with the guidance and the support from my peers, I decided to take my diet more seriously. And after that habit change, I started to see the results in fat loss. Bad habit number 3. I was setting small goals such as I just want to lose some fat, I want to gain some muscle. It was not specific enough, and with that I wasn't motivated to get and chase those more specific goals. So as I got coached, I was taught to set a body transformation goal. 12 weeks, we want to be at 10% body fat by X date. How do we do that? We have to have the structure in place, but we have to set that big goal. So I did that, I booked a photographer, and this allowed me to then focus way more. Bad habit number 4, I was eating way too much sugar. Now this was in the form of high sugary breakfasts, and also throughout the day I would snack on sweets, chocolate, but my go-to was sweets. It was definitely, again, from my childhood, I would often have sweets. So again, that was holding me back. I was eating way too much sugar. This was meaning that my carb intake was too high. If I'm eating too much sugar, I'm not be able to start utilizing fat. So that was a habit that I changed. I started to eat more healthy fats, increase my protein intake. Bad habit number 5, I wasn't training hard enough. When I first moved to Australia, I realized that the intensity, the duration of my workouts, the structure of how I trained was not right. It was not at the level that I needed to achieve my goals, to build muscle and to lose fat. Body recomposition. I would often train, but with the incorrect load, the technique was not good, and I quickly got taught how to improve all those areas. Over time, over the past 10 years, I've made it my mission to improve all those areas that I feel are necessary to help with body recomposition. Bad habit number 6, I was drinking way too many soft drinks and not drinking enough water. I would often have a habit of just cracking open a can of Coke whenever I felt thirsty. And again, this is a really bad habit because this ties into my earlier habit of eating too much sugar. And just whenever I felt like it, my Obviously, water intake was not where I wanted it to be. And again, this just led me to drinking and eating too much sugar. This meant that my macros were not where I wanted them to be. And this had a big impact on my crashes. I would have regular sugar crashes. And I just felt like my energy was not where I wanted it to be. So I worked hard on that habit. And now I don't drink any soft drinks at all. Bad habit number 7. I was surrounding myself with the wrong people. Even back then, I had friends that were not in line with what I was working towards, weren't interested in fitness, they were just interested in going out, partying. So I quickly had to surround myself with the right people. And that's what I did.
Nice.
So I surrounded myself with people who were driven, motivated, who were working towards similar goals that I had a determination to succeed and in their physiques and work towards big goals. So this was a habit that I worked on, and over the past 12 years I've been surrounding myself with elite personal trainers, coaches, mentors that have been able to inspire, push and motivate me to achieve my goals and beyond. Bad habit number 8. I would eat way too much saturated fat. Now this would tie in with me going out too often. As I mentioned before, I would eat takeaways, way too many takeaways. This meant that the amount of saturated fat that I was consuming was not in line with what I needed in terms of the good and healthy fats. So I decided to reduce the amount of saturated fat by cutting the amount of takeaways that I was eating. And this in turn helped me be in a calorie deficit so much easier and lose the fat that I wanted to lose. Bad habit number 9. I was eating way too little protein. Protein, again, for me was not something that I would eat when I was young. We don't have breakfasts that were high in protein, as I mentioned before. So it wasn't familiar for me to have eggs for breakfast, etc., like I do today. So I worked hard on increasing my protein intake. I was taught how to set a protein goal. But not only that, how to time protein around workouts, also protein in the evenings, and just in general eating enough protein to support me. Again, this helped me gain muscle, but also it helped me lose fat, as I felt like I was able to reduce my sugar cravings. And this actually worked alongside my other bad habits that I was able to cut, such as eating less sugar, etc., because I was eating more protein. So that was a habit that I cut, and since then I've worked hard on eating at least 200 grams of protein every day for the past 10 years. Bad habit number 10. I wasn't tracking my food that I was eating. I would just see food, eat it. When I got hungry, I'd eat. There'd be no awareness with my total calories that I was consuming, my macronutrients. I had no structure, no balance. So I would often just pretty much have meals that I felt was right for me at the time, whether that big or small, as many snacks as I wanted. So I didn't track anything. So that was a habit that I worked on, and I got coached to work on that habit. And since then, I track my food. I've been more aware with my macros. I regularly hit my macros, my calorie goals. Kicking that bad habit, I was able to lose fat and achieve the goals that I set myself and get the body composition that I wanted. Well, there you have my 10 habits that were holding me back, and I'm sure if you're not where you want to be right now, you can probably relate to some of those habits. If you haven't already, please subscribe. That would be very helpful, and I wish you all the best of luck with your journey. I hope it all works out for you, and stay tuned for my next show. Bye for now.